panel and princess dress. And the first thing we need to do is to extend our dart. We extend our dart line on a straight line because I've been reeling and reeling and reeling. The dart is not, it does not want to look like that again. Okay, so I am just going to mark my nipple to nipple here and join. And join. Okay. So the next thing is for us to determine where our princess would be, and I want us to remember that for the princess that we spoke about, we actually we tightened her on the bust and here as well. It's not actually necessary for us to tighten our on the bust, but if you want to do it, you can go ahead. This is my own on the bust line. This is my panel line. So for both princess and panel dress, you are going to go through the same method. The only difference you're going to have is where your dart line is coming from. If your dart line is coming from the shoulder, that means you are going to have a panel dart. If your dart line is going to be a shoulder stuff. But if you are dealing with what's it called? If you're dealing with, please record that. You cut that one, you will. If you're dealing with princess dart, it's going to come from the underarm. It's going to come from the arm. So you can give it either 6 centimeters, 7 centimeters, or 8 centimeters. So I'm going to give mine 7 centimeters and draw to my point D. I'll draw to my point D. This is my princess line. And if I am not going to do any shoulder tightening, this would be my panel line. But I want to have a neckline of V. I want to add V neckline, and I want it to be as deep as 5 inches. I want it to be as deep as 5 inches. I am just going to measure, but I want us to know that I want us to know she's not around. What is she already? Okay, so I am going to have 5 inches to lower my neck depth, and the next thing for me to do is to tighten my shoulder. Why am I going to tighten my shoulder? I'm going to tighten my shoulder because I am having a v-neck, and that is 50% tightening to have a smart v-neck so that the v-neck would not gape. So 50% of 7 centimeters would give us what? 3.5. So I am just going to mark the 2.5 centimeters here, and from the 2.5 I'll bring the 2.5 down here and mark the remaining 3.5. That's like 1 centimeter. So I'll join back to point D, and I will join back to point D. So this is a dress. So this is now my new panel line. This is a dress, and that is why we are not going to start our cut from the waist this time around. I am starting my cut from the down M line. That's my new length. And here's it. Please be careful when you are cutting so that you would not cut out of I call it band right now. So because I want to close my shoulder, I am going to slash to that point. And before I close the shoulder, I want to have it precessed. But if I am not having it precessed, if it's a panel that you want, you are just going with any panel that with any neckline you want. So I just want to assume I am using a panel that, so this is it. I've joined back to this line. That's for the panel that, but from the princess that I am going to curve, I am just going to curve it this way. That is what I want to work with. So we are just going to with our shoulder dart. Okay, so here is it. What do you want to use for your shoulder will determine what you put here. Don't forget to redraw your line. This is gone. Then I would love to use 2.5. And this is it. That's my V-neck line. I am just going to cut that side away and also cut this side away. So be careful and don't forget to add your sewing allowance when you're ready to sew your clothes. So this is it. We're done with that, and here we have the princess dress. We have the princess dress, and when you want to join it back, don't forget to add your 0.5 sewing allowance, and this side too, you add your 0.5 sewing allowance. So this is that about that. And also you can decide to extend this side, this length. You can decide to just come out a little bit, like give a gore to it. You can give a gore of about 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, just something to come out a little bit, like a flare, to give it that's 6 pieces flare that we are normally used to. So when you do it like that, you will get like a 6 pieces gown. Not exactly 6 pieces, but it will fall into 6 pieces gown. So we're going to have a sewing technique of this, and we are going to have a better knowledge of what we're talking about here. So let's move to the back bodies on how we're going to cut it, how we're going to have it, just like we did the front pattern. We are going to do the same here by extending the dart line. We'll extend the dart line here, and we will determine what we want to come down with here. We are just going to determine that, and to get that perfectly, you would measure what you came down with here again. I came down by 7, and I am also going to come down here by 7. This is sewing allowance. So this is the point. You're coming down here by 7. There is no shape. There won't be shape as we have the shape there. So this is just going to be a straight line to the waistline here. But if you want to have it paneled, you join it back to this point here and you follow through the panel dart. I still have my panel line here, so the dart at the back, that means you're going to include your shoulder dart at the back here and you connect back to the tip of the dart here. This is the panel dart dress. This is the pattern for the panel dart dress. So for the sake of this class that I want to put cotton, I would use princess dart, and I am coming back to the point A. Instead of me to come back to this point A, I'm coming back to this point here. You can as well make it curvy, but not like we did at the back, but just a bit curvy. Can we see? So you can either use this straight line or a bit curvy. Either way, it's like however you want it, but I am going with this. I'm going with this, and this is out of it already. So that's what we're going to do. Please, when you are doing your panel darts, don't forget to come down, like to blend it through this line so that we won't have a pointed and sharp edge of cloth. This is for the panel. This is for the panel side, please. This for the panel side, and for this other side we're going to go through this point, but I normally advise, so that it won't be complicated when you are sewing back, that you remove your dart line. Like you remove your dart here by this side. So when you remove the darts, you will just trace the normal line back. If you do not remove the darts, you will have to cut out this side, like this penciled mounted place here. You will have to do the same thing here, and you can have a sharp entering back here. So to avoid all this, or you will either extend this line here. That means you're not shaping it out as you ought to shape out. That means if you have a pencil skirt, you're not going to remove everything that you slash through the line. Now I am going to remove my dart, and that is 3 centimeters, and so I will just have a straight line down, and when I want to cut on fabric, I am going to add gore, a gore like the 6 pieces skirt like pattern. So that is that about the back pattern for